I bet you guys didn't realize we were going to have two of the best dunkers in the entire world on the podcast today. Go ahead, Isaac. John and Austin.
Yeah.
That was straight savagery. That's yeah. For our respective, someone said ESPN asked highlights the other day in my comments, and I was like, that's fair. It was like 31 old knee tendon pain PR, and I was like, yeah, that's fair. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. This is THPStrength podcast. If you guys are interested in coaching, go to THPStrength.com. Today we have a very special guest, and it's not Austin. But we do love Austin, but it's not Austin. It's actually Donovan Hawkins. So Donovan, give us some of your statistics. Let's go vertical, back squat, front squat, power clean, and 40-yard dash time. Alleged 40-yard dash time.
You can run?
All right, wait, what was the first one you said? Oh, yeah, vertical, 48 plus. I don't know. I've never actually tested
48
max.
plus, for sure. Okay. Next one.
What else did you say? Height?
Power clean.
Power clean, 275.
Okay. And incoming 315 soon?
Yeah, most definitely.
What's your back squat?
435.
Half or ass to grass?
Half, like parallel.
Parallel. Front squat, ass to grass, and parallel.
Front squat, they're kind of the same. I can't they look the same to me, like parallel and ass to grass. Like you can't really go ass to grass in the front, like all the way, can you?
In front squat or?
Like in front squat, they kind of look the same to me. Like
Isaiah, video. You have to send me the video. You'd have to send me the video. But
okay,
it is possible half squat, but I don't really do it. Do you have a video?
Yeah, I do. It's 365.
All right, yeah. Send me it, and I'll be there. Just 365. And what was the other one? 40-yard dash time, alleged.
4.4.
4.4?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I can see it.
You can see it.
You
can see it in person here soon.
Yeah, we're doing a combine. We're gonna have Cole, Isaiah, RJ, and Donovan do it. Although Cole is pivoting to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so
I think I should be involved in that. I have.
You can. I'm happy to oblige.
Huh?
I'm happy to oblige. You can do it.
Oh yeah, can I do it today?
No.
I think he would be really good. That would be fun today. A combine.
I'm sure you run. I haven't sprinted full speed in like 4 years. I'm probably.
How many times can you each bench press 225? Like once?
I can do it 3 times. Not a good 3 times.
Well, right now because I've been doing upper, I could probably do twice.
I think the NBA combine would be better. Actually, I think that would be more interesting.
What is the NBA?
I think it's.
we should do like a whole obstacle course.
There's like a shuttle run, 1-step approach jump. There is a sprint. I think it's a 20-yard sprint, and the yo-yo maybe is what it is, something like that. And then they take measurements.
What about like
an standing reach like they do?
3/4 court sprint, lane agility, modified event time. I don't know what that is. What did you ask, Donovan?
Can we do their standing reach like they do?
Yeah, but that'll look worse for you guys because you need inflated reaches to be impressive to scouts.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, but your vertical would be higher, but you want the reach metric because that's what they care about. Like they care about the anthropometrics of players. And we're gonna fudge your heights. You're gonna be 6'3" and you're gonna be 6'6".
Yeah.
Okay, so Donovan, we asked you to list out some questions. Hopefully you can think of some new ones while we're answering this one because you only got one and we asked for 5. Austin, you were supposed to list off questions too, but I saw your laugh, so I don't think you did. So go ahead, Donovan. The floor is yours. What questions do you want to know about yourself that we can answer for you?
Okay, this one's relevant because it just happened. Why is my both my squats front and back? Why are they up right now, but my power clean is down right now?
You want to take it? Yeah, go ahead.
So your squats, like both your squats, are actually really respectable compared to your power clean, considering that you're going to parallel. If you were to go ass to grass, that number, the half squat number, would probably be closer to 405. And then your power clean number, I think, should actually be higher. And I actually texted you this. I either DM'd you or texted you about your 315 attempt. I think you could easily do 315 with some technical improvements. So you have the outputs currently right now to be cleaning 315, 320, 325, whatever it is. So considering that, like if you look at my numbers, my clean technique is pretty polished and I can do 315. And then my ass to grass squat is around 425, which I think would be similar numbers that you would see. Like if you were to hit your true max on an astrograph squat and your true max on a power clean based on your outputs, they're basically right where they should be. It's just you need some technical improvements on a power clean.
I have another reason why. So if you were to look at fatigue and you specifically, and I talked to Mason about this the other day because he was like kind of asking about you and why you're so different and how, you know, he's not necessarily where he thinks he should be. And I told him, he was kind of implying it. And I basically told him like Donovan is an outlier of outliers. Like in that vertical leap calculator, what did it calculate out to for you based on your numbers and your weight?
Like 44, 43 or something.
So Isaiah, what was yours? Yours was only 2 inches off?
Yeah, mine was like 47, I believe, is what it estimated.
So a little bit off, but I know.
Oh, actually, sorry, I think it was 41. I think it was 41.
41?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What's your standing vertical? Have you ever tested your standing vert?
No, but if I like, this is not necessarily like immeasurable, but if I practice it, I could use that vert. It's probably like 37, I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bailey wants to be a feature in the podcast. Say hi, Bailey.
Dog.
Anyways, so sorry, I'm getting distracted by my dog. Okay, so I think the other reason why you like on the vein of you being an outlier is you are very sensitive to training fatigue, which I've said numerous times on many different platforms, Instagram, YouTube, other podcasts, and a dedicated video to 3 athletes that have a 50-inch vertical. So that said, I think that when you hit a lot of strength volume, you actually end up more fatigued. Your training age is lower. You're more sensitive to training. And as a result, you're going to see those metrics associated with vertical and the most specific metrics drop. So your vertical, that's going to drop. Your sprint times. Sometimes some guys don't have that happen because it's so like lower leg dominant, but generally that's going to get worse because it's very neurally driven. And then jumping, right? Jumping is, power clean. Power clean is very similar to jumping. You're moving a very relatively heavy weight pretty fast, and that is going to drop probably subsequently or correspondingly as a result of you adding all this physiological fatigue to your body, whether it's like calcium ion channel fatigue or it's, I mean, now we don't really know if it's like damage to the actual myosin and actin. I think there's like some evidence that's indicating that's not the driver of adaptation or of weight. Like that's not the physiological driver of changes to muscle size or strength or et cetera, which you guys can look at Chris Beardsley to see the evidence on that. Don't take my word for it. So I think that's why also. And yeah, I would expect that if you backed off, like when you tested with Josh, what were the conditions when you did it last?
Oh, you're actually going to love this. It was after an hour and a half dunk session, actually.
And how much?
Weightlifting?
Yeah, the 315 attempt.
And
what did you hit that day? You hit 275?
275, yeah.
So how much training fatigue did you have at that time?
I was deloaded, none.
That tracks. That explains a lot of it. Yeah. All right. So Austin, your question. You're up.
Oh, let me get my notepad.
I'll beatbox while we wait.
Why am I unfulfilled?
You have to separate yourself from the results of dunking and life and just live in the moment.
Okay. Why, even though I ordered a club soda at the club instead of liquor, I still feel like an idiot, even though no one knows the difference?
You're caring too much about what people think.
All right.
Or just keep in mind that everybody is stuck in their own world and they're not thinking about you.
Okay. And how come it's considered? Okay, we'll skip that one. Okay, in all seriousness, I'm running out of stuff, but that was beautiful. I'm sure that will help someone somewhere.
I have to help my dog get unstuck.
So I guess I don't know. Let me think of a question. Basically, I would say, do you think I would be at a 50 by now if I didn't have my phases of being a rock star and doing crazy shit? And,
That's a good question. What do you think? So what's Austin's upper limits of potential? What do you think?
There are 2 things that Austin is notoriously good at, and that is screwing up his schedule because he decides to go on life decision. I'm going to call it that. I'm not going to call it a bender. And the second thing is jumping when he's not supposed to.
He's been proving us wrong. He left and stayed consistent.
Yeah, we had a bet, Austin. We had
Yeah.
a bet. Yeah, it was whether or not you'd be able to maintain the training volume if you went back to Jersey. We were like, there's no way. Like he's gonna be around all his friends. He's gonna be back home. He's gonna, fall back into his rock star lifestyle. He's not gonna have anywhere to train, and inevitably he's gonna get distracted. But the first week you did something that I think really helped your cause, which is you found a gym to train at, and that has since been your oasis, your home away from home, and you've been able to sustain all of the training volumes outside of the last week where you decided you were going to max your power clean every day.
It was only 3 times in the last week. It's because of the 275. It's just driving me nuts.
And I think another big thing is Austin and I. What day was it? It was when we went to the Orlando Magic game, and we had a few drinks, and then we died the next day, and we swore off alcohol for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And it's been like a month,
No.
and we have not a lick.
Yeah. No, it's
Proud
basically
of you guys.
reminds me of
Proud of you guys.
2022 with monk mode, kind of like over again. Like I wake
Yeah.
up, I have energy
Good
now,
for you.
and I feel great. And
Yeah. So anyways, back to the question. The ultimate question is, how good do I think you'd be? I think it's not necessarily your rock star lifestyle all the time. I think that plays a role. I think it's that if you stop training, that's whenever you go the other direction. I think it less has to do with that and more to do with your compliance. Like what happens when you go to Spain and you decide that you're going to sip mimosas and eat freaking mussels on the beach every day is you don't train as hard because you don't have access to a weight room. Like it's not necessarily the fact that you're on the beach drinking mimosas and eating mussels in Spain or whatever. It's that you have a lack of facilities and you have a lack of time or you have a lack of access, and that plays more of a role. So I think that for you personally, if you were able to just train consistently and mitigate the irresponsibility of jumping too often, then I think you'd easily be 48 plus consistently. I would confidently say that 1 foot it's really hard to hit 50. Like I don't know, we haven't seen anyone do it on a Vertec other than Ilya Ivanuk, and I wasn't there to verify that. So yeah, that's kind of my lens on that. Donovan, you're up. Do you have another question?
I do, and you're gonna hate it.
All right, that's great.
So I asked Isaiah at the Wisconsin camp, but I want to get your thoughts on how often beginners and then also elite guys should jump.
So I've actually changed my lens on this quite a bit. What did you say at the dunk camp? What did you say in whatever?
I actually don't remember, but what I would say now is beginners need to jump a lot. Advanced guys should be jumping less and training more. And I could go into it, obviously, even more than that. But yeah.
And I'm not gonna make the joke we made earlier. I'm not gonna make the joke.
Okay, so I guess I'll deep dive it a little. I'm actually curious after I say my answer if it checks out with what I said at the Wisconsin camp, but it also depends on the beginner. So if somebody's injured all the time, they probably shouldn't be jumping all the time. But specifically like a really young athlete, like if you're like 11, 12, 13 years old, but basically if you're like prepubescent, I can't say that word very well, prepubescent, before you hit puberty,
yes,
you can jump every day. And as long as you build up to it, you can jump every day. And then as you get older, your outputs start increasing and that becomes harder to sustain. And you have to train more to be able to sustain those levels.
I accidentally started the podcast without Ben Moxness. We usually podcast with him on Wednesdays, so hopefully we'll be able to reschedule.
Like this could be like a
Oh my gosh, we could. I'll send it to him. So I heard part of Isaiah's answer before I got distracted, but yeah, I think that you, like he said, as you get older and you get more advanced, you need to jump less. And it was actually interesting talking to Pat Pyle because he was talking to Fabian and he basically asked him, how long have you been jumping? He's like, oh, since I was 14. And he's like, yeah, you know how to high jump. It's not like I have to teach you how to high jump. What you need to learn how to do is get fitter and get more explosive and learn your body enough to know when you're going to peak. And I pretty well agreed with that. And Fabian and I decided that we were going to try to implement that, and it's been working incredibly well. We've been doing a lot more hurdle hops. We've been doing more, I guess, like hurdle high jumps, where it's almost like not really the Western roll, but he like literally hops over the bar, and his vertical and his performance in those metrics has been going up, and he's less stressed about actual high jump. And I think with dunking, it's obviously a little bit different, but in a similar way, especially as a 1 foot jumper, but similarly in 2 foot jumping, you hit diminishing returns, and there's a higher cost to jumping. And as you get older and your training age goes up, that cost is more costly. It is more expensive. You see more of a toll on your body when you decide to jump, in Isaiah's case, 50 inches at 27 now, or in your case, Donovan, you're 21. Like, there's less of a cost on your physiology at 21, even though you weigh 220 or whatever. You're still in you're in a better position, right? You don't have built up injuries over the years. You don't, you're more plastic with your physiology. It's a little bit easier to get to adapt. So I think that, as you advance and you get a higher vertical, it becomes less of something you need to always do. Now it's interesting because that's kind of against traditional teaching when it comes to track and field. Like in track and field, you'd say, look, general work goes out the window. We need to spend a lot more time doing specific stuff. And I would agree with that. But in track, you're not seeing 10 times or what, I don't even know the forces that you're seeing in dunking intramuscularly. The amount of motor recruitment is relatively less because you have less time on the ground. The tendon load is probably like higher on the Achilles and things like that. But even that, it's not even necessarily guaranteed. Like CJ, obviously when he tore his Achilles, like that's a demonstration. And we've seen a lot of 2 foot dunkers have that happen, and 1 foot dunkers. It's really intense on the tendons. So I think that you have to balance that. And I think that you need to train more as you get a higher training age, and you need to jump less, but that's after you get to a relatively very elite level, partially as a requirement to stay healthy. And then also because it's harder to get better, and jumping is not, it self-intensifies, but you're not going to be able to jump 50 plus inches every day or every other day, right? Or even every week. That's going to be difficult to do. So like if you're going in fatigued and you have a bad day, even if you're fully unloaded and you're very advanced, it's harder to hit your peak performances, right? Like how many times a year are you at 50 plus inches of vertical, would you say? If you were unload any given way?
Probably once every 2 months now. I mean, my basement has gone up, I feel like, this year. So yeah, yeah, it's a lot more intense.
Even if you were jumping once a week and just focusing on staying healthy, he's only able to hit that training effect once every 2 months, where it's 50 plus inches or 50 inches of vertical, where he's actually probably seeing not that he's not going to benefit from lower jumping days, but plyos self-intensify as you get better at them. Jumping is a plyometric. As he's better on the day, he's getting a better stimulus for training. So if he's not at that level, it's going to be really hard for him to continue to get better with just jumping. So now if you add in training on top of that, the likelihood that you're going to jump 50 inches goes down because you're fatigued. So now that's another variable. And I don't think that you can sustain 50-inch plus days unless you're, like Isaiah said, unless your basement goes up and now your peak is 55. But now it's even harder to get to 55. Like it's all about like how close you are to that peak vertical to use it as a training effect. It's not just volume anymore. Intensity is really, really important.
I have something I want to close the podcast out with. Yeah. So you have something to say, Austin?
I mean, well, it depends. If this is the closer, like the actual closer.
It might relate. It might connect.
Or if you want to do the closer and then let me interject, because it ruins your closer if I do it after you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'll say what it is, and then it might connect with your interjection. You guys both jump high. Obviously, we're all doing iterations of the same type of training, but I'm curious what your guys' individual tips are for jumping higher. Like, if you could come up with like 3 things that like has personally helped each of you guys to make progress, like what would those things be? having said that, I don't know if that connects with you,
Oh,
Austin.
oh no. I mean, real quick, I was just gonna say the getting older thing is something I have yet to accept. And John,
Yeah,
he just
Austin is living in this.
doing the same diet from 2022. I'm over here I'm like, I used to warm up like just by doing a one-hander, like two-hander.
Bro,
And like I'm starting to like realize like, okay, like I am getting older and it's okay. And
you know, that is sad, but at the same time, I keep seeing things that are like, you can't make that excuse yet. Like the Chinese guy, Dunk Chen or whatever.
He's not skipping warm-ups and shit, is he?
No, he warms up.
probably not
So when I did the contest against him, he is literally a track athlete. Like he showed up in his full track suit, like warm-ups, freaking did his thing. The whole contest, he was on the other hoop, like getting warm-up jumps in. He was practicing double ups, like his double ups, like over one person over and over again on the other side. And then he keeps PRing his back squat. So he's training hard. He's still making progress on his squat, and he's 38. So like I see things like that, or like I see guys like Jay Clark still getting after it. Like, you know, he hang cleaned 308 the other day. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I keep seeing reminders, and it's just like it's
Yeah.
not an excuse. It gets more difficult, but we haven't reached a peak yet.
No, I agree with that, but I'm
That's
saying
more what I'm saying is it's just more that you have to take care of yourself and be more careful as you get older. Like you
Like-
can't just like live like you did when you were 20 and expect the same results at 31.
Hey, think about this. Florida meetup, right? We fly in, we get off the plane, we dunk, right? We're 19, 20 in this time period. You know, then we go, we get beers from somebody or do something. We party after we dunk. We wake up, we're fine. We're hungover out the ass. Like today, we wouldn't even be able to wake up, right? We'd be like, like you'd be like, TT, take care of Marty. Like you wouldn't be able to get up. And then we go dunk again. And then we party again, and then maybe feel like hooping the next day. Like we can't do that anymore. Is what I'm trying to say. Not like
Unfortunately, not.
Yeah, like
I think I have a slightly different lens on it because I've always been a hurt boy. Like I'm like healthier now than I was during those time periods, and like I don't know. Like I technically could do that, especially if you consider how high I was jumping then. It was what, like 42-inch vertical. If you told me cut it at 42 inches, and like the drinking, I can't do that anymore. That's like I will be crashed.
I'm
Like,
so sad about that too.
but yeah, I see it more as like as I've gotten older, I've gotten stronger, I've jumped higher, and it's just the price to pay is you can't do it as much. And like I always compare stuff to cars, right? It's like when you modify a car and tune it, the price is reliability. Like, you know, it's not going to be as reliable like when you do that. And I see that as me. I keep tuning my horsepower up to really high, and I can't jump as frequently as I want. But yeah, that's kind of my lens on it.
Did you want to do that?
All right.
Then you'll experience it one day.
Yeah, one day you'll have that experience. He did sprain his ankle playing football the other day because he's a fool.
Donovan, your tips.
No.
All right, yeah, 3 tips. Donovan, 3 tips for individuals who want to jump as high as you someday.
Name shady.
Doesn't even have to be like training related, like
Just in general.
mental related. You know, it could be as simple as like jump every day, like just 3 things that you feel like helped you the most.
Yeah, I was gonna say my biggest 2 are, well, I'll go 2 and 1. Number 2 is consistency, and then also the first one, which is the most important, and Isaiah knows this, is have fun. Like if you're like, well, I'm not even like, it sounds dumb, but if you're not having fun, then you're never gonna get better ever. Like I didn't even take dunking seriously until like last year. Like I just had fun. It was just fun to do.
So having seen you do the training, and like when you were over here, like you don't go out really and stuff like that, and you stay really consistent. What helps you stay consistent? And I'm always curious about this because like when I was at a car dealership the other day, and the guy who was talking to me about, like, the finance manager or whatever, he was talking to me, and he showed me his license, and he was obese. Like he was like freaking 400 pounds, and this was a skinny guy. Like And then I asked him, I was like, what flipped the switch? And like for you, like what flipped that switch? Like what made you go from not consistent to consistent? Because that's honestly the biggest obstacle guys face is like they're not consistent. Like what helped you with that? Was it a specific thing that happened that made you flip the switch? Is there something that you do to help you stay consistent? Like what allows you to do that?
Well, I've always been consistent, even when I was like having fun lower. Man, I just always did it. I think again that plays into the fun of it. But now, well, I guess you could say like what drives me in the weight room to be consistent. I don't even know. It's just like part of me. I don't know. I just have to do it. Like it's not like I can explain it like that. I just have to do it. I just have to.
Do you like it? Do you enjoy
Yeah.
training? And have you always enjoyed training, or would you say that
Yeah.
you found a love for it in the last 2 years?
No, I always have. Like, you just have to. Like, if you're not, what are you doing? I don't.
Yeah.
I love
And
this.
that right there, I'm curious to see your take on that too, Austin. But that right there is what separates elite guys from the not elite guys. The people that are not elite, they have to find little tricks.
Yeah.
Like little tricks to like get themselves to go to the
It's like more
gym.
about
Or
lifestyle. I think when it becomes a part of your lifestyle, that's how you know you're on a long-term track for success.
Yeah. I've never had an issue with consistency or showing up. I think it's like mine was the issue is intensity, like wanting to be there. It's like I knew it was the right thing to do, so I'd do it, but it wasn't like I was more focused about the dunk session or getting clips for Instagram. And
You still are.
What?
You still are worried about that.
Dunk, but
What did you ask me to do 1 hour ago?
To dunk, it's my deload week. It's a little different, but I do take.
No, I get it though, because Austin likes it.
Yeah, no,
like, he genuinely likes it. Like,
yeah, like, and honestly, like, I think that's the thing is like before when it used to be way much. Dunking used to be more fun when I was younger because I would just go dunk, and it was dunking. There wasn't 5 days of training that led up to it. Like, and like as I'm getting older, like I'm falling in love with that and making weight room gains and like everything. And honestly, the dunk session is kind of just like it's just another workout. And yeah, no, I that's what's making me consistent this go around. And I would say just the discipline of just pushing myself and seeing what I can do. It's really cool. Like I didn't think I'd be capable of like getting my balance back, even though I'm not 100% like or anything, or the power clean increasing that much. Or
you know what drives me in the weight room? Because like I really don't like it that much. Like I don't know how to explain. Like when I'm doing these freaking death set of squats, I'm not having a good time. Like I am, and you've seen it. You've seen it. Like there's a part of me that is a P word, a PUSSY.
You got that hoe in you.
Yeah, I got that hoe in me.
What?
The doctor checks my heart, and there's no dog. It's a little.
Oh wait.
Can't find the dog.
Wait a second.
Can't find the dog.
Oh. Yeah, it just seems like you got a little hoe in you.
Yeah, like, and it's what I mean by that, because compared to 99.9% of the population, yeah, I'm trying harder and I'm getting after it. But I know for me with myself, with how hard I know I can push, like there's a little part of it that it could be even more. And because the workouts freaking suck.
Yeah.
But the true motivator is the getting better.
Oh yeah.
Like I know that is gonna make me jump higher, and then so no, you learn to kind of enjoy that, but it's like I just like the effects.
Oh yeah.
The effects of it. And I like doing low rep stuff or like hitting a power clean PR or squat PR. Like that stuff is fun. But when you're in the grind and your verticals down and that stuff, it sucks. It's not fun, but it's worth it. Like, you only understand it's worth it after you stayed consistent with it.
I wonder, like, because like a lot of your love for lifting, like not love for lifting, but like I could feel like your best improvements in lifting came when you were kind of by yourself. And I'm noticing right now in New Jersey, because my family moved, I'm constantly at the gym. I'm at the gym 6 days a week for like 2 hours. I do all the little things, I do the full warm-ups. I do every little this and that because like I have all this extra time. And it's like, and it's so much easier when there's like nobody around. Like,
bro, you know why? You know why that is for me?
Huh?
You know why that is for me? Is because without training, this is gonna sound really depressing and kind of bad. I swear I'm not like
Don't
I'm gonna get to
upset
mental
bro.
health. If without training, like life kind of loses meaning. Like and specifically when you're by yourself. Like if you're by yourself, I'm talking like you're isolated. Right now it's a little different because I have a daughter and a wife and I have a lot of responsibilities and I'm always busy with stuff. But when I was by myself in 29, I
Yeah.
was going insane because it's boring, right? Like you're
All you have to do. Yeah.
like
It gives you purpose.
yeah, it does give you purpose. And at that point it's harder to there's no room to be like depressed or feeling worthless or what not worthless, aimless in life if your legs are shot and all you want to do is lay down because you're so freaking tired from training.
Like my favorite times in life are when I have that luxury to just train and do nothing else.
What
Like,
is-
well, I had other stuff, but it was much less of a distraction. Those other areas, like when I was in grad school, it was so easy. I could literally go to class, not study at all, get A's. I was never able to do that, but grad school was that easy where I was like, this is just like doing my undergrad over again. And I can just get A's and do nothing. And because I've already studied this stuff or it's my interest, like it's more dialed in and more focused. So I had to do less. Whereas when I was like undergrad, it's more general. Oh, goddamn, Bailey. Bailey's going to do it. Don't do it. Oh, Bailey's about to knock the camera over.
Here.
Oh, God.
Hold my
God.
It's time.
Hold your coffee. So she's like caught up in the cords right now.
Oh my god.
Stay. No. Stay. Go back. Get back. Get back. Anyways, so for me, that was always like do you want to take the laptop again? So that was always for me like the most fulfilling times and also the times I made the most progress as well. But I don't want to spend too much more time on this because we're already at 30 minutes. So that said, Austin, Donovan, that's your 2 tips, I guess. Consistency and have fun.
Do little things, be consistent, and make friends who don't party because my friends don't party anymore, and it's really easy not to party in Jersey now because they're doctors and engineers and shit, so they don't got time for that.
I go get drinks occasionally at cocktail bars. Does that count? Is that partying?
Bad.
I have something to add to that. My favorite saying in the whole wide world is
You're the sum of your 3 best friends.
exactly. Like if you hang around 3 drug addicts, you're gonna be the 4th drug addict. If you hang around 3 rich people, you're gonna be the 4th rich person. If you hang around 3 dunkers, you're gonna be the 4th dunker. So whatever it is,
Or you'll just quit and leave.
yeah.
Like, or you'll just quit and leave. Like
That happens to more than people realize.
anyone that lives with Austin ends up in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Cole,
Hey,
Josh, Isaiah
You-
eventually.
Everybody that lives. So me and Austin, we used to live in a townhouse. I think every single person that lived there, including the females, tried dunking on a lower room at some point. Like because we had a hoop back there. All I talked about was dunking. All I would play on the TV was dunking.
Yeah.
And everybody worked out, right? Think about Lewis was the most consistent when he lived there.
Yeah.
Like literally
All
everybody
together all the time. Like it
yeah,
was,
Vitali would talk about how he wants to get in shape, like because that's all we're doing. Like, and what happens is people usually fall, like they do it or they quit because they realize it's not for them.
And then they move.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that one in-game dunk day when you were recording Josh because he wanted to be the best dunker, and LA threw me the lob, and I did the 2-hand tomahawk on 9-10 like in-game off a lob. It just
I don't even remember this.
I was like hanging there with one hand screaming, and I was like,
Yeah.
I looked at you like you recorded it, and then you were recording Josh do his penultimate step.
You
And I was
know,
like,
it doesn't matter. I remember you missed a dunk. Like I hit a new dunk that had never been done before. I don't even remember the dunk.
no, it wasn't.
I do.
him.
It was off the backboard 360J Rich. And
That was
I
Andy.
almost
It
threw up
wasn't
because
him.
I
That
missed
wasn't his
it.
fault.
Huh?
That was Andy, not you.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it was Andy. R.I.P. Andy. If you're listening to this, Andy, I still love you, but Isaiah will never. He did it again. You ended up hitting it. It was fine, but that was a sour day. I'll say that. Anyway,
people miss dunks. CJ missed my first hide and seek ever, and then I hit it again.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I think it's a good place to stop. Donovan, thank you for coming on the podcast. Did you enjoy your time? Would you come back? Would you do it again?
If I had to, yeah.
Here's one thing you need to learn about Donovan is he's wildly sarcastic. So sarcastic that even we sometimes don't catch it. Also, he likes amusement parks more than he probably should.
It's more adrenaline than dunking.
The Jurassic Park roller coaster, freaking Universal.
The Velocicoaster.
Velocicoaster. Yes.
Oh.
No, you can't lie. Actually, you did it, but that was top. That was like top 5 adrenaline moments.
Donovan,
It was.
coming on the podcast today. I have a green bean guy. So if you want to send me your address, I'll send you 5 pounds of green beans.
Green beans. You have a green bean guy?
I do actually. It's a person I met in Jersey. They gave me 10 pounds of green beans, like in boxes. Well, they gave me 15. I gave one to Keith's family. I just walked into his house and I was like, "For you," and I gave it to his mom. But I'm gonna have a green bean guy if you want.
Donovan, if you need some green beans, we know a guy.
I think they're straight from Mexico.
I don't need any
Austin's
green
got a
beans.
guy. Austin's
They're
got
really
a guy.
good. They're nice and green. I'm gonna send you one for being on the podcast. Thank you. Today it's brought to you by green beans from Mexico or Guatemala. Thank you. Or
We'll see you guys tomorrow.